This is a software demo of SRS Recipe Organizer from 7rocksoftware.com. The first thing you have to do to use Recipe Organizer is take a couple of pictures of the recipe that you want to import with your digital camera. This recipe has two pictures. One is primarily for the image of the recipe, which is a nice thing to add to the recipe. And here we're resizing the image so that we can draw a box around the portion that we're interested in, so that that portion can be imported into the recipe. So I've selected the image and I'm going to copy it. The next thing to do is to go back and get the second picture of the recipe, which has most of the text from a different page. Now I'll use the image filtering controls to adjust the image to get it ready to make sections of it available to be imported. The purpose of this is to get as clear an image as you can of the text, because this software uses optical character recognition, or OCR, which turns the picture of text into text. So here I've used some brightness and contrast filters, and I've actually inverted the image so that it changes from white letters on black background to black letters on white background. And that makes it a little easier for the OCR to recognize the letters. So now I'll get the area that we're interested in into the middle of the screen. I'll draw a box around the name of the recipe. I'll click the name box and then click copy. So that worked out. Now we'll get this little information that's a description of the recipe and copy that into the instructions. Click instructions and copy. And the next thing we get is the ingredients. So this is a repeated kind of operation where you just draw a box around the area of interest. You have to really make sure the box encloses the entire area of the text. You select the area that you want to copy to and you copy. And we'll get the last three ingredients and copy. And now we'll go and get the instructions for the recipe. And this is the first part of the instructions. And you'll notice as this is being copied, the quality of the OCR varies depending upon how clear the text is. And the fact that this particular image has text that varies with a darker background on the left and a lighter on the right makes it a little tough for the OCR to figure things out. The ideal picture would have a nice clear white consistent background and nice dark crisp letters that are nicely separated. But what this will do, even with this image, is import the vast majority of the text. And after all the text is imported, you just need to go through the text, proofread it, and make any little changes that need to be made. We'll skip that step here because it takes a few minutes to do it. And now we'll get the last little bit of the instructions. So there is a little bit of text cleanup that is invariably going to be needed. One area that it doesn't do well with the OCR is it doesn't understand fractions very well, it seems. So in the ingredients, you really need to go through and organize them and change the areas that have been misunderstood by the OCR to the correct fractions. So there is a little proofreading that's involved. And if you look at the text here, there are some areas that certainly need to be cleaned up. And as I said, that'll vary. With a very good, clear, crisp picture, the OCR does very well. The image crispness is very important. And here we'll save our new recipe to a file, and we'll view a picture of it. Now this can be saved, well, we already did save it, and then you can print it. So you have this nice printout to work with while you're preparing your recipe, and you can print this over and over again. And that's the end of our demo. So to get a free copy of SRS Recipe Organizer, go to 7rocksoftware.com.